What's going on, Cowboys fans? Foots here. This has been a fun combine. All right, I got day 1 and 2 winners, and these are guys who I could see that fit with the Dallas Cowboys and who would make sense for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, obviously, guys like Christian Gonzalez and what he did at the combine today. I was just talking to one of my buddies, arguing with him. He was telling me about, I don't know if I like Oregon athletes, and I'm telling him like, hey, listen. I don't know if Oregon players pan out. I'm like, well, think about Javon Holland. Think about, Penei Sewell. Like, these guys are good players. And for me, Penei Sewell went to Oregon. Check that if you did. These drafts run together, guys. But the point is, you can't draft the helmet. You have to draft the player. You can't scout the helmet. You have to scout the player. If the guy is going to test well and do his thing, like Joey Porter Jr., Penn State doesn't really historically send great corners to the NFL. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to draft Joey Porter Jr. if he's sitting there, because he tested amazing. The arms are long. He can touch the ground standing up. Like, all those types of things. And he tested well. Like, that's very important. So I want to get to some of these day 1 and 2 winners. And for me, with the Jerry Jones thing and with him talking, I don't give that much legs on this channel. Like, I'm not going to sit around and speculate what he's saying about Dak and the money, and it's hard to put elite. I'm not getting into that type of stuff. And it's cool to hear that the Cowboys are meeting with quarterbacks. Like, they're not leaving any stone unturned. They're meeting with receivers. You got Jackson Smith-Njigba. I don't know if he's going to do the on-field workouts. You guys let me know. But I know that he met with the Cowboys and confirmed that. Tank Dell met with the Cowboys. The Cowboys are doing their due diligence on receivers. It just has to make sense. Like, it really has to make sense. And I think they'll put on a show tomorrow, so I'm excited. But these DBs and these defensive tackles put on a show. One of my winners and one guy who fits the Cowboys, I know the Cowboys don't go D-tackle early. But Kalijah Kancey is Aaron Donald 1A. Like, the film checks out. And then the speed and the test and the measurables checks out. Now, the thing that we got to figure out is he's definitely a 3 in the size, right? But that Ed Oliver mold, I think there's still a lane for it, because he's so quick when teams are trying to, run that duo stuff and run those duo schemes on him and double him and all that type of stuff. He's just going to beat blocks every time, because those guards just aren't going to be quick enough. And he also does a great job of converting speed to power. So I really think that he's a guy. I don't know if he'll be hanging around the second round. I don't have a first round grade on him, but that's why I said he's Aaron Donald 1A, 1B, but he still can come in and help a team early, especially on passing downs. I think he's outstanding. Obviously, Brian Bresee is probably out of the Cowboys' range, but his athletic profile was outstanding as well. Just the way he was able to test, being able to run the way that he was at that size, 6'5", 298, you could probably use him as like a 5, a 4-eye. Could play some of that DN stuff and just wall off guys. Doesn't always have to play D-tackle, but he can kick inside as well, and he won't lose any leverage. Like, he is a really, really good player. But the one that I want to get to, and the one that we got to have a conversation about, is Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith just blew the doors off the combine, right? The 4.39, I got it written on my notes here, 4.39 to jump, the 40, his vert 40 inches, like he jumped higher than Keely Ringo. We'll talk about him. I didn't really like his combine. I didn't like the movement. The hips look fluid. Look stiff. And you see that on film. But back to Nolan, right? With Nolan, is this one of those things where you just grade him as a stand-up outside backer and let him rush on passing downs? And you kind of ask him to do some things off ball because he's so athletic, and you say, hey, we're not going to put your hand in the dirt, but we're going to put some, like, he's basically, it's like having 2 Micah Parsons. Because I don't know if I could, if Nolan Smith is sitting there at 26, I don't know if I could not draft him. I just don't know if I could do it, especially with how versatile and how well these Georgia defenders are coming in the league and playing. I just don't know if I could do that. That's a conversation. He blew the doors off the combine. I think that he's a really, really special player. All right, and then we go to day 2. Again, this DB class, this is where you got to have these tough conversations. All right, DJ Turner may have jumped himself into the first round. Deonte Banks, I don't know if he's a first rounder, but his stock is really up. That 4.35 and then the movement, the way that he's moving. Christian Gonzalez, though, solidified himself as corner 1. Period. Nothing else to talk about. Christian Gonzalez is he's DB1. He just is. The fluidity, the 3-cone was like, dog, like this dude is crazy. But his arm length and his height mixed with how high he jumps, nah, he's the one. I thought that Brandon Hill, and obviously he's not a corner, but like, dog, like, to me, Pittsburgh is doing something at their program, right? Like that Pittsburgh program is getting some athletes. Remember Jordan Addison was there too before he transferred to USC. Pittsburgh is putting some athletes together now. That South Carolina program with Cam Smith and with Darius Rush, you're gonna have 2 South Carolina corners go in the first round. Like you can't trade away from good DB talent. Now the thinking may be that the DB class stretches a little bit. But I don't know, man. Like if it's a run on DB, and I'm staring now, the questions in the draft board, in the draft room, board meetings, and this is why being a good team helps because Dallas could go Nolan. Or if let's say Cam Smith is staring at you, and yes, you like your DBs right now, but you say, hey, I wanna upgrade. You could do that because both of those guys could help you. Let's say that you like your linebackers, but you want to kick somebody inside, and then you want Nolan to just come in and help. Like, you could do that as well. So I think that it's going to be really interesting, but the combine so far has been really interesting. It's been really entertaining. I think the coverage has been outstanding. Even I left Joey Porter off of my list, but he's been great as well. The big one for me is Keely Ringo because people will say, well, and you do have to watch the tape, and I have. People will say you can't come to the combine and overdo it as far as going crazy on, well, the athletic testing. But it matters, guys. Like, it matters. Like, slow corners can't play in this league because these receivers are so good. And while Ringo isn't a slow corner, the athletic profile just wasn't great. Like, 30-inch vert, that's not good. Like, I can jump higher than that. So it's just something that we got to think about. It's your boy Foots. And I'm not going to go into who didn't win, but Ringo was one that, because his film shows how his athletic testing is. So he's grabby at times, and it's like, and the technique isn't always great, and it looks like he always tries to depend on his athleticism, and it gets him in trouble because the athleticism isn't amazing. But anyway, it's your boy Foots. I just want to hit these nuggets. You guys let me know who you think knocked it out the park. I know everybody was high on Emmanuel Forbes, but the truth is, if you're 166 pounds, the Cowboys just aren't going to draft you. So that just is what it is. Receivers and quarterbacks tomorrow. You guys let me know who you want to see. Put in the comments. Oh, by the way, everybody who commented about the song that I played at the beginning of the last video, Vitamin C. Thank you. That means the world to me. Peace.